If you have a team, accountability is going to be one of your top priorities. This is how you do it the easy way. What's up, fam? Welcome back to the Less Business, More Profit series. Basically, this is Business 101. Let's talk about team structures, okay? Let's talk about how you keep your team and your people, your staff, accountable. It doesn't matter what industry you're in, you're gonna have to have a degree of accountability for everything that you do, right? It begins with job descriptions. It begins with finding out where people are going to be sitting, right butts in the right seats type of stuff. But once you have all of that in place, how do you actually keep the people accountable? How do you actually keep your team engaged and you know that they're doing the stuff that they are meant to be doing, right? The stuff they're supposed to be doing. So here's the thing. We've talked about KPIs in the past. We've talked about the importance of following metrics and understanding that there are numbers, right, that your team has to hit. Now, that goes a very long way when you're trying to understand how the actual business is doing, right? But it goes even further when you know how to use them for training purposes, for skill set purposes. So here's the thing, and the concept is very, very simple. This is going to be a very simple, short little video on that, but I think it's a very important topic that requires emphasis on this. So if you have a set of KPIs set for any job description that you have in place, for example, if you have cold callers in your business, your KPI might be, they have to have a reach of 400 people a day. They got to have 10 conversations an hour. Or they got to give me 2 or 3 leads a day, right? Those are the KPIs that they have to meet. Now, what about training? What about you bringing in the skill set and actually empowering your team to perform on those KPIs? This is how you use that. This is the simple question that you got to ask yourself every time you're debating whether or not somebody is up to par with the skill sets and the productivity they got to be having in your company, right? If they are meeting the KPIs, meaning that they're hitting all the numbers that they're supposed to be hitting on a regular basis with you, and they still have no results, it's going to be a training issue. More than likely, it's going to be a training issue. They're going through the motions. They're doing the things. They're having the conversations. They are, taking the actions that they're lined up to take. However, there's no results. More than likely, you're going to have to come back and then fine tune the training process. A lot of times, this is going to fix 80% of the issues when that's in place. If they're hitting the KPIs, it's going to be a training issue. Go back to your training protocol, your onboarding process, how you actually break down the whole empowerment of the employee, right? What is the employee experience? Go beyond the customer experience. What is the employee experience? And in terms of training, in terms of building them up as individuals, are you doing everything that you can so you can have them perform at their best, right? If they're doing their KPIs, they're putting in the work, they're taking the actions, they're following the process that you have in place. Now, if they're not hitting the KPIs and they still have no results, it's going to be an attitude issue. All right. So think about that. Think about the attitude issue that is happening if they are not hitting the KPIs, right? If they're not hitting the KPIs, meaning that they're not meeting the expectations that they're set to meet on a weekly basis, either in terms of reach and calling the amount of people, or reaching out to new buyers, creating new networks, new connections, whatever the requirements are for those KPIs, key performance indicators. If they're not meeting those, it's going to be an attitude issue, right? So it's simple. It's every time I go back and I want to evaluate somebody's performance, I think about that. Okay, these are the KPIs, the expectations, key performance indicators, meaning the expectations that they're supposed to be handling on a regular basis in my business, and they're meeting those, right? Meaning they're hitting the numbers they're supposed to hit in terms of the actions, not necessarily the results. We're not talking about results here. We're talking about the number of actions and metrics that they're supposed to be meeting on a regular basis. Now, if they're hitting those, again, it's going to be more than likely a training issue, an empowerment issue. Are you building buy-in? Are you creating that sense of a community and that sense of individual achievement within your team? And are they excited about being part of your company? If they're not hitting the KPIs, again, more than likely it's going to be an attitude issue. There's not a lot that can be done when it comes to attitude, other than try to invigorate them, maybe motivate them a little more. But at the end of the day, a lot of people are just not a fit because they don't want to do the work, right? They want to get compensated without doing the work. If that's the case, you're going to see that when you set your KPIs and you follow the KPI strategy. KPIs, again, key performance indicators. You have to set metrics and numbers for everybody to hit, broken down by job role. Okay, it's very, very important. You can't operate a successful business if you don't have a direction, if you don't have a set of actions and numbers that people have to meet on a regular basis. So key performance indicators are imperative, right? If they hit the KPIs, go back to your training protocol. If they hit the KPIs and they're still not having results, they're not bringing in the amount of revenue that you need them to bring in, they're not having the amount of leads, brought in or whatever. Basically, they're not meeting the bottom line that you have set for them. You have to come back and then reassess your empowerment, your community with them, and your training, right? What's your onboarding protocol and all that? If they are not meeting the KPIs, it's simple. It's going to be an attitude issue. They're just not putting in the work, all right? So the importance of KPIs in your business goes far beyond just the metrics and the health of the numbers of the company. It also tells you about the specific employee and what's taking place when you're not watching, all right? So I hope you guys liked the video. Make sure that you subscribe, like, and share. Do me a favor. Anytime you hit like, anytime you share, you comment on this thing, it helps me spread the word, right? So I ask you as a favor, if you like what you're listening to, if you like the content that I'm putting out there for you guys every single week, do me a solid and then just subscribe, like, and share. All right, stay focused. You got this. Let's go.